JayZ's documentaries, moment out as a point that he beat numbers.
True enough, I did need them. However, I feel like, you know, if I presented as something that's mutually advantageous for both of us.
Right. But that really, he should address the guy who made him feel like a punk. You know how rock and roll has punk rock? You know, hip hop has cool.
Something happens to you if this shit goes left. And I'm telling you this so you really understand. I never told anyone. I never called the police. I said, Puff Daddy told me he's gonna kill me in the park.
Welcome back to BuzzBuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. It's not some slick caption or a goofy AI image. It's real footage. A raw clip ripped straight out of a TI documentary episode that hasn't even officially dropped yet is already flooding the internet. And yeah, it's moving fast, real fast. It blew up in hours, and people aren't just watching. They're side-eyeing everything they thought they knew about JayZ's story.
Even if everything in it was a lie, it was done great. I'm not saying that everything in it was a lie, though.
Right.
I was sitting there watching like, my instincts were...
What's in that footage doesn't just raise eyebrows, it flips the whole narrative upside down. This isn't casual chatter you scroll past. It's the kind of moment that makes people rewind, pause, zoom in, and start connecting dots they never saw before. Every frame feels loaded, every second feels intentional. And with all that chaos swirling around, you've got to understand exactly who 50 Cent is right now, because this isn't random. Curtis James Jackson II. Yeah, 50 Cent isn't just a rap legend sitting back collecting praise. He evolved into something sharper, more strategic, and way more calculated. Low-key, but dangerous in how he moves. He's not just dropping tracks anymore. He's making power plays behind the scenes like someone who remembers everything and forgets nothing about old enemies. While most artists let old beef fade out, 50 does the opposite. He stretches it, reshapes it, and turns it into full-on content.
Now, did he want to be on the top 10 or top 5? Right. And you still compete.
This isn't just social media jabs anymore. He's built an entire documentary series aimed straight at people he's got history with. And in 2025, he showed that this approach isn't just bold, it actually works at the highest level. When he stepped in as executive producer for Sean Combs' The Reckoning, that 4-part Netflix docuseries didn't just quietly release on December 2nd, it hit like a shockwave. It moved through the industry fast, shaking reputations and dragging old stories right back into the spotlight where nobody could ignore them. This series didn't just skim the surface, it went all the way in. It dug deep into the disturbing allegations surrounding Sean Combs, stacking interviews, evidence, and first-hand accounts people had never seen pooled together like this before. Nothing felt random or thrown together either. It came off organized, detailed, and honestly, a little too real for comfort. The reaction? Massive. This wasn't just fans talking online. Every major media outlet jumped in right away, breaking it all down from every angle. Social media stayed active for weeks, with people debating, arguing, and digging deeper into what really goes on behind the scenes in the music industry.
It's 2020, y'all, and it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaires.
It reopened serious conversations about power, accountability, and who actually gets protected when things go quiet. Diddy's team didn't stay silent. They pushed back fast and loud. His representatives called the whole thing a shameful hit, claiming Netflix used footage that was never approved on their side. They also made it clear they see 50 Cent as a longtime rival with personal issues involved. But calling something a hit piece can flip on you, because sometimes that kind of response just pulls more attention in, making people look even closer instead of turning away. While Diddy's camp was trying to contain the damage, 50 was already moving on something bigger. Then March 5th, 2026 hit, and 50 Cent dropped an Instagram post that had everyone talking instantly. The headline read, 50 Cent reportedly developing Surviving TI and Tiny documentary. That title wasn't random at all. It was calculated. It was a direct callback to Surviving R. Kelly, one of the most intense and widely discussed documentaries ever made about someone in the music world.
Right!
Gotcha! Yeah.
Even if this is not the way it written down, it feels right.
Yeah, validated.
But then at the same time, like, dang, this is, I saw two different, I only saw one side of this person. This was showing like the whole other side.
Everybody who saw that post caught the reference immediately. There was nothing subtle about it. People knew exactly what 50 was hinting at, and the message landed hard without him even needing to explain much. But he didn't stop there. He took it further in the caption, making everything way more direct and impossible to ignore. He made it clear he stayed quiet before Sean Combs' The Reckoning dropped on purpose, letting that project speak loud all on its own before stepping back into the spotlight with this next move. Now, though, he wasn't holding back anymore. He basically put T.I. on notice. He dragged attention right back to his legal history, past allegations and lawsuits that have followed Clifford Harris for years. According to 50 Cent, those issues aren't just fading into the background. They stick, and they're gonna show up everywhere T.I. goes.
You enjoying seeing your son step up to the moment?
I don't enjoy it. I do not. Simply because I've spent so much time trying to get this little nigga off the ledge.
Talking about King?
Yes. And now he has justifiable means to undo all of the teachings that I've been teaching.
He even hinted that any promo run T.I. plans could get overshadowed with the same questions popping up at every stop, every interview, every appearance. That kind of pressure doesn't just sit quietly in the background. It follows you loud and non-stop. The internet reacted instantly. Hip-hop blogs, gossip pages, commentators, and fans all jumped in at once. Timelines filled up fast with reactions, some people shocked, some hyped, and others seriously concerned about where this could go next. Then, just like that, it disappeared. 50 Cent deleted the post with zero explanation, no follow-up, no warning, nothing. But if you understand how he moves, that silence says everything. The message didn't need to stay up. It already reached who it was meant for. As of March 2026, there's still no confirmed schedule, no network attached, and no official footage connected to any T.I. documentary. But in today's media world, even the idea of something dropping can shake everything up, and 50 Cent knows exactly how to apply that kind of pressure better than almost anyone.
If 50 thought T.I. was just going to stay quiet, then that read was way off. Or maybe he knew exactly what would happen and didn't care at all, because things escalated fast, way beyond a simple back and forth.
And I told y'all this was about to happen. To me, the reason that 50 Cent has been quiet on the whole T.I. beat is because he's sitting back and planning to do another documentary but this time on T.I. and his wife and their essay allegations that they've been fighting. This is about to get ugly.
Within hours of that post making rounds, this stopped being a two-man situation and turned into a full-blown family conflict, playing out live on social media for everyone to see. And 50 didn't ease up either. He posted a photo of Tamika Harris, T.I.'s wife, and paired it with a caption that people immediately called disrespectful and unnecessary. That move made one thing clear. This wasn't just about T.I. anymore. It had spread wider, pulling more people straight into the spotlight. That's when T.I.'s son stepped in. King Harris, his eldest, fired back online and took things in a very personal direction, posting content aimed straight at 50 Cent. People were watching closely, but it didn't feel entertaining anymore. It felt tense, almost unpredictable, like things could go too far at any moment.
Nigga wanna say something about my mama, your mama dead as fuck, nigga. Your mama dead as fuck, go dig her up. Go dig her up. Fuck. Post a picture of your motherfucking mama, nigga. She dead, nigga. Pay respect, nigga. Stop fucking playing with my mama, nigga. Nigga ain't playing like that. Nigga ain't going like that, nigga.
Then his younger brother, Damani Harris, came in with a completely different energy, but it still hit hard. He dropped diss tracks, putting everything into the music and letting his frustration spill out through lyrics. That move added another layer to the situation, turning it from social media drama into something bleeding right into the music world. Things got intense enough that T.I. had to step in publicly and draw a line. He made it clear he wasn't backing down from 50 Cent, but there were limits. He spoke about not letting things cross certain boundaries, saying he wouldn't go after someone in a way he wouldn't want his own family targeted. That kind of statement stood out, especially coming from someone known for standing firm and speaking his mind.
But even with all that playing out on the surface, that wasn't the full story. There was something deeper building underneath all the noise, something people were starting to notice but hadn't fully connected yet. This situation isn't just about rap anymore. It pulls in a much bigger name, a longer history, and a controversy that stretches way beyond hip-hop. To really understand why JayZ is even part of this conversation, you have to rewind nearly 30 years. Back in 1999, a then unknown Curtis Jackson dropped a freestyle called How to Rob, where he jokingly imagined robbing some of the biggest names in rap, including JayZ. It was bold, it was funny to some, but it also rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
And, you know, I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, and it's just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
It wasn't just a track, it was a statement, and it grabbed attention fast. JayZ responded, but not with a long back and forth. He threw a quick line on a Big L record, brushing 50 Cent off like it wasn't even worth his time. No full diss, no extended clash, just a quick dismissal that still landed. But even in that short moment, tension was created. And that tension never really went away. Years later, things heated up again when 50 Cent claimed JayZ tried to block him from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2022. That claim was never officially confirmed, but it spread fast and had people talking everywhere. It painted a picture of behind-the-scenes power moves, making it seem like JayZ could be using influence to keep certain people away from major opportunities. Whether true or not, the idea alone was enough to get people locked in and paying attention. Then when Sean Combs' The Reckoning dropped at the end of 2025, people instantly started connecting dots. Fans weren't just watching, they were speculating, asking who could be next and whether bigger names were about to get pulled into the spotlight. That's when JayZ's name started popping up more and more in conversations, and not in a casual way either. Online, people began linking everything together, from old industry stories to recent moves, trying to figure out if JayZ could be the next major figure featured in one of 50's documentary rollouts. And what really pushed things further was this idea that 50 doesn't move randomly at all.
But now, since 50 posted that he's doing the documentary, maybe you believe him.
Every move feels planned. Every post feels intentional. Every project seems to build on the last one. So after seeing how the Diddy situation played out, people started wondering if JayZ might be part of a bigger pattern unfolding right in front of everyone. At the same time, there's been no confirmed project focused on JayZ. No official announcements, no trailers, no verified footage, nothing concrete. Just a growing wave of online discussion and theories getting louder by the day. And that's where things get interesting, because in today's media space, perception can move just as fast as facts. Some people think it's all just speculation getting out of control, while others believe there could be more happening behind the scenes that hasn't been revealed yet. Either way, the conversation keeps building, and JayZ's name keeps getting pulled right back into it. And with 50 Cent watching everything, moving quietly but strategically, a lot of people are paying close attention to what he does next. Because when he makes a move, it usually comes with impact. And he didn't exactly stay quiet this time either. He leaned straight into the speculation and made sure people noticed. He shared a video online with JayZ's face was deep-faked onto a Lionel Richie music video. On the surface, it looked like a joke, something quick and viral, but underneath, it felt like a signal. And the internet caught that immediately, with a lot of people watching closely and trying to figure out what it really meant.
That was 50 Cent putting JayZ straight on the radar. Then January 20th, 2026 hit, and everything shifted fast. The United States Department of Justice released its long-awaited batch of Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, millions of pages that had people searching names non-stop. It turned into a full-blown media storm overnight. Celebrities, politicians, business figures, nobody was off limits. Social media went into overdrive, with people trying to connect dots as fast as possible. And as those files started getting picked apart, JayZ's name showed up in searches. That alone was enough to spark a wave of reactions.
It's 2020, y'all. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaires.
Context didn't always matter in those moments, because once a name appears, it spreads fast and gets people talking even faster. And 50 Cent didn't hesitate at all. The second that connection started trending, he jumped in and posted AI-generated images of JayZ on Instagram. The caption read, "Damn, they got you, man. Jay and the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this." That post spread quickly, adding even more heat to an already intense online conversation. But here's the part that got lost in all the noise. With millions of documents being searched and shared, not every mention carries the same weight, and not every appearance means wrongdoing. Still, in a moment like that, once a name is out there, it becomes part of a much bigger narrative, and that narrative can take on a life of its own. And this part really matters. JayZ's name did not appear in Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs. It wasn't in any contact lists either. The only place his name showed up was in FBI hotline intake reports, basically tips sent in by members of the public after Epstein's arrest back in 2019. That means these were unverified submissions, not confirmed evidence. Anyone could send those in, and they weren't checked or proven before being recorded. Even the United States Department of Justice made it clear when releasing these files that they could include false, misleading, or completely made-up claims. The FBI has also confirmed there is no verified connection between JayZ and Epstein's network in any official documents they have. But as seen before, once something like this hits the internet, the facts don't always travel as fast as the headlines. That detail got completely lost in the noise. But it changes how this whole situation should be understood. It flips the perspective in a major way once you actually slow down and look at it properly. And when you really line up the timeline, things start to look a lot clearer. Back in 1996, when any early connection was supposedly being hinted at, JayZ had just dropped Reasonable Doubt and was still building his name from the ground up. He wasn't moving in those elite circles that Jeffrey Epstein was known for at that time. Not even close. JayZ hasn't said a single word publicly about 50 Cent's post or about his name showing up in those files. No statements, no interviews, nothing at all. And that silence, it's only made people more curious online, keeping the conversation alive and growing. But this is where 50 Cent plays a completely different game than almost anyone else in entertainment right now.
That he wanted to be on the top 10 or top 5, right. And you still compete.
He understands how viral media really works. He knows you don't need a finished documentary, a release date, or even real footage to create pressure. All it takes is one moment, one post, and a narrative that gets people talking. And once that spark hits, it spreads fast and hits even harder. That's exactly where things stand now. And it's why this situation feels bigger than just another online back and forth. It's not about one post, one clip, or one headline anymore. It's about how quickly a narrative can form and how difficult it is to stop once it starts moving. 50 Cent has figured out how to turn attention itself into a weapon. He doesn't need to prove everything right away. He just needs people watching, reacting, and asking questions. And once that cycle starts, it feeds itself over and over again. One post leads to another. One reaction sparks 10 more, and suddenly the entire internet is locked in at the same time. But there's another side to this that can't be ignored. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it's accurate. And just because a name appears somewhere doesn't tell the full story. That gap between facts and assumptions, that's where things can get messy real fast. Still, none of that slows the momentum down. The conversation keeps growing, more people keep jumping in, and the line between entertainment, speculation, and reality starts to blur. And right now, that blur is exactly where all the attention is sitting. With no official announcements, no confirmed projects, and no direct responses keeping things grounded, everything right now is running on speculation and timing. But one thing is clear, when 50 Cent starts something like this, it's rarely random. There's usually a bigger play already in motion behind the scenes. And at this point, All it really takes is the right post, the right name, and perfect timing. And the internet does the rest. That's exactly what happened with the TI documentary talk.
How y'all bitch ass niggas raised? I'm not raised like that. I don't go. I'm not going about my mama, nigga. I'm not going, nigga. So tell your dead ass mama, dig her ass up and post a picture that look better than my motherfucker.
But anybody in the loop knows that T.I. and Tiny have had several allegations of SA.
50 managed to dominate hip-hop headlines for days without even putting real money into production. No trailer, no confirmed deal, nothing locked in. Just the idea alone was enough to take over the entire conversation, and that says a lot about how he moves. Then came the Epstein-related post, and things escalated even more. He took a reference from unverified documents and flipped it into a massive cultural moment. Suddenly, one of the biggest names in hip-hop was being pulled into a serious discussion, all without a single confirmed claim being made. Think about how that works for a second. A deleted post, an AI-generated image, a short caption, and just like that, a major figure in the music industry is trending alongside a federal investigation. Even with the FBI clearly stating there's no verified link, the conversation still took off and refused to slow down. Fans watching all this unfold have been completely split. Some feel like this kind of pressure crosses a line and creates more confusion than clarity. Others argue that 50 Cent is forcing conversations that the industry avoided for years, and that's why it's hitting so hard right now. One comment that spread everywhere summed it up perfectly. 50 Cent might be the most consistently chaotic man to ever be famous. And honestly, that chaos doesn't feel accidental. It feels calculated. Because what really makes this situation intense isn't just what's being said, it's where the line actually is. 50 Cent isn't a journalist, and he's not part of law enforcement. He's an entertainer with a massive platform, real influence, and a history of long-running conflicts. And right now, he's using all of that in a space where serious documentaries have exposed real issues backed by real evidence. That's what makes this uncomfortable for a lot of people. When entertainment, speculation, and real-world topics start mixing like this, it becomes harder to tell where information ends and impact begins. And once that line starts to blur, things can shift fast. That combination right there is what makes this so powerful, and honestly, a little unpredictable. Because Sean Combs' The Reckoning wasn't just talk. It dealt with serious, verified allegations backed by legal filings, first-hand testimonies, and documented evidence that gave it real weight. And that's exactly why it hit as hard as it did. But the situation with T.I. is way more complicated. If that documentary ever actually happens, it steps into a completely different space. Several past lawsuits involving T.I. and Tamika Harris have already been dismissed, and both of them have denied the main allegations. That alone changes how everything would be viewed, and it raises real questions about fairness and responsibility. Then there's the JayZ situation, which is even less clear. The discussion is based only on anonymous, unverified public tips, the exact kind the government itself warned could be false or misleading. That's a completely different level compared to documented cases with verified evidence. So what is 50 Cent really doing here? Is he building something serious meant to hold powerful figures accountable, or is he revisiting old tensions from the early 2000s and using documentaries as a way to apply pressure? Or maybe the truth sits somewhere in the middle. And that's why this works so well. Because sometimes the most powerful move isn't showing proof, it's making people believe something could be coming. The idea alone can shift attention, create pressure, and keep everyone watching closely. Right now, nobody in hip-hop really knows who might be next on 50 Cent's radar, and that uncertainty is what keeps everything on edge. That tension, it's part of the strategy, and it's keeping the entire culture locked in. Here's where things stand today. 50 Cent already executive produced a Netflix docuseries about Sean Combs that didn't just perform well, it shook the culture and grabbed everyone's attention. And after that kind of impact, everything he does now carries a different level of weight. People aren't just scrolling past his posts anymore. They're watching closely, analyzing every move, every caption, every hint. Because at this point, even the smallest signal can turn into something much bigger overnight. The T.I. situation is still sitting in that uncertain zone.
No official confirmation, no production rollout, no clear timeline. But the idea alone has already created pressure in headlines, and that shows just how powerful perception has become in today's media world. With JayZ, it's even more sensitive.
And, you know, I remember one time walking in the studio, bleak beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, and it's just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's no verified case, no official accusations tied to what's been circulating, yet his name still got pulled into a massive online discussion. That alone shows how fast things can escalate when the right mix of influence and timing comes together. And through all of this, 50 Cent stays active but unpredictable.
He posts, deletes, drops hints, and then steps back just enough to let everything grow on its own. That's not random at all. It feels controlled, like every move is carefully designed to keep people guessing and reacting. At this point, the biggest question isn't just what he's already done, it's what he might do next. Because if there's one pattern that keeps showing, it's this. When things go quiet, it doesn't mean it's over. Most of the time, it means something bigger is being lined up behind the scenes. And he didn't stop there either. 50 Cent teased that TI and Tamika Harris documentary, then deleted the post, but the impact was already done. That one move pushed them straight into defense mode and pulled their family into a situation that quickly turned public and messy. Once it hit social media, it spread fast. There was no pulling it back. Then the Epstein files dropped and things escalated all over again. JayZ's name appeared in unverified public tip submissions, and 50 didn't hesitate for a second. He jumped on it immediately, turning that moment into content while the internet was already in a frenzy. But here's what really matters. None of the Epstein-related claims connected to JayZ have been verified at all. The FBI has already confirmed he's not listed in flight logs or contact records. And through all of this noise, JayZ hasn't responded publicly. Not one statement, not one reaction. As for the TI documentary, there's still no confirmed deal, no release date, and no official production in motion. But that hasn't slowed anything down. Because in the court of public opinion, where 50 Cent knows exactly how to operate, facts don't always move at the same speed as momentum. And right now, momentum is moving fast. That's what makes this whole situation feel so intense. It's not just about what's proven or what's confirmed. It's about how quickly tension builds and how powerful it becomes once it locks in. 50 Cent has figured out how to stay right at the center of that attention. He doesn't need constant updates or full explanations. One post, one delete, even a small hint, that's enough to keep people talking, guessing, and reacting nonstop. Meanwhile, the people caught in these moments are left dealing with the fallout in real time. Whether it's TI and his family responding to pressure or JayZ choosing to stay completely silent, every move or even the lack of a move gets analyzed and picked apart online. That's the environment all of this is happening in now. A space where speculation spreads just as fast as facts and where narratives can build before the full picture is even clear. And 50 Cent understands that game better than almost anyone. He knows exactly how to spark conversations that take on a life of their own, where the audience does most of the work keeping it alive. At this point, it's not just about one documentary or one post anymore. It's about influence, timing, and control of the narrative. Because once that spotlight turns on, it doesn't just shine, it stays locked in, and everybody feels that pressure. And now everything feels like it's building towards something bigger. Not fully revealed yet, but something people can feel coming. That tension is sitting over everything right now. 50 Cent hasn't confirmed a new release, hasn't dropped a trailer, hasn't laid out any clear plan, but somehow he's still controlling the entire conversation. That alone says a lot about the level of influence he has in this space. At the same time, the names involved aren't small. TI, Tamika Harris, JayZ, these are major figures with long histories, loyal fan bases, and real impact. So when they get pulled into situations like this, the reactions multiply fast and they hit differently. What makes it even more unpredictable is how quiet things can get right after they explode. One moment, everything is trending everywhere. The next moment, silence. But that silence doesn't mean people stopped watching. If anything, it makes people pay even closer attention. And that's exactly where things stand right now. No clear confirmations, no final answers, just a series of moments stacking on top of each other. Each post, each reaction, each rumor adding more weight to the situation.
Because this isn't just about what's already happened, it's about what could happen next. And with someone like 50 Cent moving the way he does, that question alone is enough to keep everyone locked in, watching closely.
You enjoying seeing your sons step up to the moment?
I don't enjoy it. I do not. Simply because I've spent so much time trying to get this little off the ledge.
Talking about King?
Yes. And now he has justifiable means to undo all of the teachings that I've been teaching.
The real question this whole story leaves behind isn't just about TI, JayZ, or even Sean Combs. It's bigger than any one name. It's about the kind of moment we're living in right now, where even the idea of a documentary can hit just as hard as the documentary itself. Where one Instagram post, even if it gets deleted minutes later, can flip an entire news cycle upside down and keep the whole world talking. And that's where this whole situation takes another turn. Because now it's not just about what's already been said, it's about what people think is coming next. That anticipation, it's powerful. It keeps everyone locked in, refreshing timelines, watching for the next move like it could drop any second. What makes this even more intense is how fast narratives are being built in real time. One post leads to theories. Those theories turn into discussions, and suddenly those discussions start sounding like facts to people just tuning in. That's how quickly things can shift in this space.
And right in the middle of all this, 50 Cent stays in control without saying too much. He doesn't need long explanations or detailed breakdowns. A short caption, a repost, or even silence can say enough to keep everything moving. That kind of control is not normal, it's calculated. At the same time, the pressure on everyone involved keeps building. TI and his family already felt how fast things can turn personal. JayZ's name getting pulled into conversations, despite no verified connection, shows how quickly attention can shift toward anyone. And once that spotlight hits, it doesn't fade easy. What people are really watching now isn't just the past, it's the next move. Will it be another post, another name brought into the mix, or something bigger that changes everything again? That uncertainty is what keeps this whole situation alive. Because in today's media world, you don't always need confirmation to create impact. Sometimes all it takes is timing, influence, and the right moment to drop something that gets everyone talking at once. And right now, that moment feels like it could happen again at any time. And the longer this plays out, the more it starts to show how much the game has changed. This isn't just about music anymore. It's about attention, timing, and who knows how to control the moment best. And right now, 50 Cent is moving like someone who understands that better than almost anyone else. What's really wild is how little it actually takes now to shake everything up. No full rollout, no press run, just a well-timed post and the right name attached to it. That alone can shift the entire conversation overnight and pull millions of people into it without warning. At the same time, the people involved don't get the luxury of slowing things down. Once their names are in the mix, the reactions come fast and the pressure builds even faster. Every silence gets questioned, every response gets analyzed, and there's no easy way to control how it spreads. And that's where things start to feel unpredictable. Because even if nothing official drops, the conversation doesn't stop. It keeps evolving, growing, and pulling in more opinions, more reactions, and more attention with every passing day. Right now, it feels like everything is sitting on edge, waiting for the next spark. Because if there's one thing this situation has proven, it's that it doesn't take much to set everything off again. And here's the part people can't ignore. The line between entertainment and real-life impact is getting harder to see. What starts as a post or a joke can quickly turn into something way bigger, especially when real names and real situations get pulled into it. That's why so many people are split on what's happening. Some see it as strategy, smart, calculated, and effective. Others see it as risky, pushing conversations into spaces where facts and assumptions start blending together. And when that line gets blurry, things can escalate fast. Because once people start forming opinions, those opinions spread just as quickly as the original post. It doesn't take long before the narrative feels bigger than the actual facts behind it. Still, that doesn't slow anything down. If anything, it adds more fuel to the moment.
More people watching, more people reacting, and more attention building around every small move. And in the middle of it all, the biggest question still hasn't been answered. Where does this actually lead? Because right now, it feels like everything is building towards something, but nobody knows exactly what that something is yet. At this point, one thing is clear. This isn't slowing down anytime soon. The conversation is too big, the attention is too locked in, and the momentum is already moving too fast to just stop. And the way everything is unfolded shows something bigger about how things work now. It's no longer just about what's confirmed, it's about what people are talking about the most. That's what drives the moment, and that's what keeps situations like this alive. 50 Cent seems to understand that better than anyone. He doesn't need constant updates or official announcements to stay relevant in the conversation. He just needs the right timing. And once he hits that, everything else follows. Meanwhile, everyone else is left reacting in real time. Whether they speak up or stay silent, it all becomes part of the story. Every move gets watched, every moment gets broken down, and nothing really goes unnoticed. And that's why this situation still feels so intense, because it's not just one story, it's multiple narratives, all happening at once, all competing for attention, and all evolving at the same time. Right now, all eyes are still on what happens next, because if there's one thing this has shown, it's that the next move, whenever it comes, could shift everything all over again.
That's the shift right there. That's the power. And it brings up a real question people can't keep ignoring anymore. In a world moving this fast, who actually decides what accountability looks like? And at what point does it stop being about truth and start becoming about influence, pressure, and control? Because right now, those lines are getting harder and harder to see. Situations like this are exactly why people are paying closer attention than ever before. Nothing feels simple anymore, and every move seems to carry more weight than it used to. That's why this conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. So now it's on you. What do you really think is going on here? Is this real accountability, or is it something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're watching what you say. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button so more people can see what's really going on. Subscribe to the channel for more breakdowns like this, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to turn on notifications too, because the next update could drop at any moment, and you don't want to miss it.